Someone who just made some cash real quick, about 1 mil off his cash, is Kanye from the STEM player, dog.
The STEMmy, man. Bro, I love Kanye. There's so many things going on with this guy right now, bro. Genius. We're going to get into that, but the STEM player, bro. What is the STEM player?
STEM player is a music device that Kanye just dropped. And honestly, it's very interesting because what it does is allow you to separate the stems of music, right? And honestly, it's like a small speaker, and it's a bit gimmicky, but it's very interesting to see this play out when it comes to Kanye having a way of distributing music to net new people or his own fan base, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is dope about it, is the fact that he's, you know, going around the streaming platforms and directly going straight to the customer. But it costs $200 though.
Yeah.
Would you buy it?
Just to listen to Donda 2?
Yeah, and use a STEM player.
$2 bills.
$2 bills.
And I know it's not going to be on Apple or Spotify.
Probably not. It'll probably go on later. I don't know. I have no idea. But probably not.
$200?
200.
I don't think I'll buy it right away.
All right. What would you wait on? What would be the things that would convince you?
I'll need to know like what are the things it can do to really add value to my life. Like just so I can listen to Kanye's album. Like that is, like think about it like how we listen to music. I listen to go to the gym. I listen to it while I work out. I listen when I'm on road to the grocery store. I can't carry a STEM player with me all the time, so I need a multi-purpose for it. And at the same time, I have an Amazon Echo.
No, I was thinking
Echo Dot.
That could be like a solid play if you merge the STEM player with Amazon Echo.
Exactly.
That would be
bro. I would definitely.
Bro,
I would put my.
That's
genius.
That's genius. That's fucking genius.
That's genius.
That's
right
$1 million play.
That
right
is
there.
$1 million play.
Oh shit!
So it's like, yo, we can let you license the STEM player, and you, well, whatever the deal works, but like a licensing deal, like, hey, Amazon take the STEM player, add Echo, Amazon Alexa to it, and
then release music through the Amazon app.
Exactly, bro. We're like, man,
why
are we not in these boardrooms, bro? What are we doing here at in the six, man? At Jarvis.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, please stop giving your location out.
I said Jarvis. We could be on road. We could be in a shack.
All right, man.
It's an area.
All right.
Whoever wants to come after me, come after me.
I'm still beeping it out. All right. But I think it's very interesting. It's actually 2.2 million that he made off of it, selling about, 10,000 STEM players. So that's a solid deal, bro. But the thing is this, that like how many recurring people will do it? I think the game is, you know, getting into people's house and then seeing if you can have something on it. It has an aux cord on it, which is cool, but it's not like a speaker like an Amazon Echo. If he can get it to a point though, like we were saying, I think that could be a really smart business move. The thing is, it would be a lot more competitive for the Apples and Spotify's. But you never know, dog.
And over here, you know, they're saying 2.2 million. So more than 500 million streams were generated on conventional streaming platforms. So this is the CEO of Kano Computing. And you're saying, you know, consumers want to support their favorite artists and get the work in the way that the artist wants to present it, rather than the way these tech conglomerates want to represent it. So this is CEO Klein. His name's Klein. Scroll down a little bit. So advantage of this is to allow the artist to pocket the majority of the revenue selling these products direct to consumer. It lets the rap star own the customer data outright, something virtually every tech and media company is focused on. So a lot of these guys are making music. You're coming up, but you don't really own the data. And Ryan Leslie was a pioneer in this. You know, when he started this conversation back in 2015, people were looking at him like, yo, you're crazy. It was so, people saw the vision, but I don't think anybody thought it was going to take off, because you need infrastructure to really get your music out there. Like, you know, you need to be supported by all these other platforms. So why am I going to go to these other companies when I'm just starting out? Why am I going to focus on me? It's kind of like what LeVar Ball was trying to do with his sons, starting big baller brands. Like, why are you going to go sign to Nike and Adidas? We can actually create our own company. And LeVar knew these sons are gonna be stars. Like, look at LaMelo now, bro.
He's a star.
Superstar. All-star game at just 20 years old. The guy, he's a magician on the court, showman. And LeVar knew this from time. He even said, LaMelo is going to be the best ball brother out of all three of my sons. Way before when LaMelo was a little tiny kid. We all saw this. I've seen LaMelo grow up. I'm like a dad watching this guy come into the league, bro. You know, it's like when you watch, like, I wouldn't call him my son, but let's say I'm an uncle. I was like, wow, look at you've grown tall, man. You're flourishing. Don't kill me. You know when your uncle sees you and he's just like, yo, you've grown tall. And I'm like, big, bro, man. I'm 25 now. There's no way I've grown tall. Like, it's such an uncle thing to do.
Yeah.
But imagine if LaMelo stuck to the guns and saw the vision LeVar had of, hey, people, you drop LaMelo merch, you drop a LaMelo sneaker, they're coming to Big Baller Brand to buy your pair of kicks. That's how you create legacy. That's how you create generational wealth, and you build your own brand. But these Pumas and Adidas's and Nikes is like, yo, we'll give you 100 million. But what's 100 million now? Like, present value. Why don't you just take $1 billion later on that you own outright 100% overall?
Delayed gratification,
right? You got to see the vision of that. And that's why Kanye, he's like, man, I have the power here. You need me more than I need you. Like, 100 million, I can keep this STEM player. Once my $100 million contract is done, okay, boom, it's over. But I'm thinking 40, 30 years from now, owning a tech company that owns data, that can sell that data again and again. This is just about the STEM player. This is about the ownership of certain data of my customers that are Kanye West customers that you need. And me being a star, you can't access that because you're not, no disrespect to any other smaller artists, but if I'm Kanye West, it's like, I bring more value to the platform. If Apple is offering $100 million, bro, how much do you think they're making off that 100 million?
Right? Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
They're making like maybe $2 billion, $3 billion in future value. Yeah,
and it's the branding, right, of having Apple Music aligned with Yeezy. You know, that they get the playing it on likeness. So where would you go if you were Kanye West? You know, I have a few ideas of how I would take it. How would you try and scale
in terms of like going in what when you say
STEM player? How would you try and grow the business of STEM player? If I was you, like, what would you predict Kanye doing with STEM player?
What do I predict?
Yeah,
I think knowing what Kanye is about, I think the STEM player is an introduction to another future line of products that he's going to be releasing.
Yep.
So I think this is more of what you see with the iPhone, let's say back in 2007. It's just like a entrance into the market that it's going to allow you to build other future devices, which are tied into like the Donda brand, which bring in the Yeezy, which bring on every other platform. It's going to be an immersive hub of Kanye and Donda products all in one. So I won't be surprised if we have a Donda TV, a Donda home, a Donda whatever, and it's all tied in together with his other future movies, creations.
Movies? You think probably drop movies, you think?
Man, if he can drop a Genius, don't you think he'll drop that exclusively through his own platforms?
Probably.
Right? Yeah. Hey, you wanna watch these music videos? Get it over the STEM player. So like now he's like, and then he's gonna take what Jay-Z tried to do with Tidal, but he's gonna do it even bigger. Right? Tidal was just a music streaming platform, but now it's gonna be like, now you can come on and you can create major. I see what he's trying to do with STEM, like the whole brand, with what Apple is trying to do with like, I'm trying to say, the software and the hardware at the same time. Okay. But now it's more immersive for more of like an entertainment system that's integrated with culture and innovation and certain things that we all enjoy. And we can access it through the STEM only. And I won't be surprised, bro, if we end up paying for this shit 2-3 years down the line.
You got you. So you think it's an introduction to an ecosystem?
Ecosystem. Got
you.
And I think Kanye's going to move away from music and he's going to try and create like an Apple type of company.
I mean, he's saying he's the next Steve Jobs. So
I don't doubt him.
So that's one thing you can't knock Kanye
He's Walt Disney.
Yeah.
What do you think? I want to hear, because I know you have some bars you're ready to spit on this.
I think he might be take a licensing route. You know, I think an ecosystem is a good idea because this is easy tech, right? So he's definitely trying to build an ecosystem out. This is how the ecosystem lives is going to be the thing. Like, is he trying to build it out to sell it maybe, or to use it as his own ecosystem to drop music or drop content specifically? We don't know. I was thinking if you could license it out, like if Drake has a stem player, if Lil Baby has a stem player, if DaBaby has a stem player, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So then people could just have their own stem player to drop exclusives on,
like a Drake stem player.
Yeah.
So he's essentially starting like a tree, and then all the artists control their own destiny with stem.
Exactly, with the stem player.
So you're owning like maybe 95% of your revenue, and Kanye just takes like a cut of it instead of going to Spotify, them taking and then giving you a couple cents per stream.
Exactly. But the only thing is that like, it's gonna be redundant. That's the only thing. Like, I'm gonna have to buy a Kanye stem player, then a Drake stem player. Then it's gonna be a lot of stem players floating around the house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what is the real route? I'm not sure, honestly. I think your lane of ecosystem is the right like move. Is that he's gonna try to create an ecosystem so people will listen to it on the stem player, and probably sell the stem players out of Gap, you know, and then like probably have something to immerse them in a Gap store, so people will like have to go to Gap to get a stem player and like experience something. And then
you even think the metaverse plays into the stem, bro? Like, I think he's gonna try.
Interesting. You think the metaverse will make a thing into it?
Yeah, man. I think he is. I feel like this is just like the tip of the iceberg, bro.
Yeah.
There's so much deeper into this that we haven't even seen yet, that we're gonna adopt this by like just the way of living. The same way that you get forced into buying new tech, like, hey, you can't use a flip phone anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think Spotify and these streaming platforms are gonna be the next flip phones, and we're gonna be migrating into these devices to support artists. Because as soon as artists realize that they have the power, it's a wrap. You know, as soon as artists realize, man, I can make my own money, my revenue, if I have Kanye status, yeah. And as soon as those type of guys realize that, now you have a platform of like, you know, artists, but it's not really as big of a business as you need the Drakes who bring in 11 million listeners a month. The Jay-Z's, the Kanye's, the whatever. As soon as artists realize that, platforms such as Spotify for music become like archaic, and now artists have their own lane. So now I have to tap into Kanye, Drake, and whatever to listen to them.
Honestly, I'm wondering how much Spotify is concerned about music versus the podcast lane. You know, because they look like they're putting a lot of focus in seeing what Joe Budden was saying, like, hey, we're changing the business model of Spotify, and I was like, what does he mean by that? Now we're seeing it play out of like them acquiring Anchor and all
Chartable,
these
pod sites,
and all these things come together where they can be like, all right, now we're having a whole ecosystem for podcasts. So if I want to create a podcast now, I'm probably going to go with Spotify and Anchor, then Apple, whatever. Apple doesn't even have anything for podcasts besides the podcast player on the app device, like on the app itself. But in terms of like creating a podcast, you're probably going to go to Anchor because you can drop the video and the audio at the same time.
And you get the data, the insights, and everything that you need to know how your podcast is performing from Spotify.
And if I was Spotify, you know what they're probably going to do? They're probably going to like mess up the podcast data from Apple. Because Chartable is one of the mode of truth for a lot of podcast people. They're like, oh, I don't really trust most things besides pod sites and Chartable. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So
Apple Analytics it's not as polished as you think it would be.
Yeah,
as a major pioneer in podcasting, because they started podcasting.
They started it.
But they've just kind of let the ball drop, and now they're playing catch up.
Yeah, well,